So it's kind of cold. As you can
Very
see.
cold.
And also, we don't know if this setup is going to work because things are a bit different right now. But maybe this video won't even come out because we'll have no audio or something. We'll be completely messed up.
Nah, no, you know what's going to happen is that we'll just have audio.
That would suck. So anyway, we just saw...
Sonic the Hedgehog 3!
Number 3.
How many months late?
Oh, wait, when did it come out?
It came out a while ago.
That's right. I think it was December, wasn't it?
It's been out for a long time.
Oh man.
It's not going to be in theaters next week is how late we've
So
seen
we
this
caught
movie.
it right on the end. Right on the end. And in fact, when we got in there, it was a completely empty theater. It was just us the whole time.
There he goes on a wild, moon-ridden adventure. You can't see him because it's super dark.
The whole theater to ourselves.
Oh my god, it's Sonic!
It's Sonic.
Naomi, it's Sonic! We're in the theater saying Sonic!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I'm so excited.
Watch you look over, there's actually someone here.
It'd be hilarious. Someone we just didn't notice.
It's like, oops.
That always happens when we go see the last show of the night.
Not always. We've had some late shows that have had people.
Yeah. But only like old movies, not new movies.
So, fun fact. Sonic 2, the second one, was the first time we actually started doing these videos again. This series.
What's it?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Are you sure?
I bet you money. Sonic 2 was the return to us doing the midnight movies where we just kind of, we see a film and then we park in the parking lot of the movie theater and talk about it immediately after we saw it. That was the first one, you and I.
I remember. If you say so.
Yep. And we saw Sonic 1, we just like watched it at home.
We didn't see that in the theaters?
No, we didn't. We saw Sonic 2 in theaters.
Oh.
Sonic 1 we watched. No, we watched.
I'm taking your word for this. I don't remember any
Sonic
of this.
1 we watched at home, and Detective Pikachu we watched at home as well. We actually watched them around the same time. And then we did it because Sonic 2, we didn't see Sonic 1, and Sonic 2 was coming out in theaters, so we wanted to catch up.
You know, maybe it's because our TV's so big, it just feels like a theater.
Yeah, our TV is
Because
as big as
I fully remember, in my brain, I remember being in the theater for Sonic 1 and Detective Pikachu.
No, Naomi.
But apparently I'm insane. Or I'm secretly from an alternate timeline and just don't know.
So you saw Sonic 3, and it was, like the first two, a really good kids movie.
Yep.
It was not as good as the first two, though.
No, yeah.
It's downhill a little bit.
A little bit. Just a tiny bit.
Still not bad. It's not bad.
Like,
But it is downhill a little bit.
my main criticism is that it should have been longer.
You think so?
I actually do. Look, a couple of story points needed more time to breathe. It's just, it feels like they were just like, oh yeah, Jim Carrey's here. We're just gonna focus on Jim Carrey for this movie. This is gonna be the Jim Carrey Sonic movie. I'm
To be
just
fair,
like,
that was the first two anyway. There was a lot of Jim Carrey in the first two.
There was more because there was more.
Yeah, because
Jim Carrey.
because Jim Carrey plays Robotnik's grandfather because they're doing Sonic Adventure 2.
Who we will now refer to as Gary.
Well, no, his name's
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald Robotnik.
Gary.
Okay, so
Gary.
in terms of, not that it's hard and fast, 'cause it's a video game franchise, but in terms of the Sonic timeline, you have the original trilogy of games, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 on the Genesis. And the only one that really had a story was like Sonic 3. And like Sonic 2 was just Sonic 1, but Tails is there. And then Sonic 3 is, okay, there's the floating island, and there's the Master Emerald, and there's Knuckles, and Robotnik is tricking Knuckles into fighting Sonic for him. And then Robotnik betrays Knuckles at the end.
Yep.
Which is, by the way, the plot of the second movie.
Yeah.
Of the second Sonic movie, yeah.
Yep.
And after that, there is Sonic CD, which is when they introduce Amy Rose and Metal Sonic, which we'll just spoil it right now.
Yes, prepare for spoilers on this.
At the end of this movie, at the end of Sonic 3, there was
after credits.
There was an
credits
after credit sequence for an apparent coming Sonic 4, and it's the story of Sonic CD, where it's Amy Rose and her hammer and a bunch of Metal Sonics.
Yep.
And I'm just like, okay, but that should have been the next movie if we're actually following the story. And then Sonic CD, there was Sonic 3D Blast, and Sonic 3D Blast kind of establishes why Robotnik changes animals into robots. And after Sonic 3D Blast, I think...
But he hasn't done that, which is probably why they're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. And after Sonic 3D Blast is Sonic Adventure. And Sonic Adventure kind of fleshes out Knuckles' backstory. Because there was apparently, before humans, an ancient race of echidnas that guarded the Master Emerald.
Isn't it echidnas?
Whatever. But they guarded they guarded the Master Emerald, and then they got completely fucked up by a primordial ancient creature called Chaos.
Chaos.
It was like this blue goo.
Yes.
And he would,
I remember the goo.
And he also absorbed Master. He also absorbed the Chaos Emeralds the same as the other as Sonic and etc. Yeah. So they skipped over all this stuff to jump ahead to Sonic Adventure 2, which is it's probably the most well-regarded game in the series, I think.
That's probably why they skipped all this stuff.
Because it's where Shadow is introduced, and to be honest, Shadow has become the most the most popular character in the series aside from Sonic.
That's because all the best characters have trauma.
Yes, well,
all the good characters have trauma.
in terms of the series, in terms of the actual game series, Sonic Adventure 2 is kind of like a contained story, in that Shadow's introduced. Shadow's entire story arc plays out with Maria and Robotnik's grandfather in the past. And it took place on a space station, not in an underground bunker like it did in this movie, but whatever. It's the same basic story, is that they're experimenting, and Gunn ends up killing Maria, and Shadow is hell-bent for revenge, he gets locked away, and then Robotnik frees him 50 years later. It's the same story.
Gary.
No, Robotnik this time frees him 50 years later, yeah.
Well, in the game.
Yeah, but also in this one.
Well, no, because it was Grandpa that freed him.
Oh, okay, right. No. In the game, it was Robotnik.
Okay, in
the
game it was Robotnik. In the movie, it was Gary.
It was Robotnik's grandfather. But anyway, they follow the same basic story beats as the story of Sonic Adventure 2. Because the story of Sonic Adventure 2, if you really just strip it down, it is the Maria, Shadow, Robotnik's grandfather, Gary stuff in the past. I'm not saying it. That stuff happens in the past. Shadow's locked away. Shadow breaks out. He decides to take revenge on all of humanity for what happened with Maria.
Understandable.
And then Sonic and the team have to stop him. He inevitably gets to the space station where the Eclipse Cannon is. He decides to try and destroy the planet. He's talked down from it. However, it's in this one, the actual main villain is
Gary.
But he's executed halfway through Sonic Adventure 2. It's an automated system that's left behind on the Eclipse Cannon in the game that you have to go stop. However, there's also his greatest experiment. He's this is the ultimate pinnacle of evolution that I've worked through all sides. It's a big lizard. And in the finale of the game, basically the big lizard has merged with the station, and the cannon's offline, so he decides to just drop the entire station onto Earth. And Sonic and Shadow, using the emeralds, stop him, but Shadow dies. And so Sonic Adventure 2 is Shadow's entire contained story in one game. Yeah. And I don't think they intended for him to come back. Because he dies at the end of that game. But then he's the most fucking popular character
trauma.
He's the most popular character in the series. So he comes back, and there's a whole bunch of stuff happening with there's Shadow had his own game that tried to flesh out his story, but I didn't really need it. Honestly, if you play, first of all, the Shadow game's not very good. And secondly, it wants to flesh out more of the Maria stuff, but everything it adds to it is just shit.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They kind of ruin it.
Shadow's story, just from this movie, does not actually need to be fleshed out anymore.
Yeah, you get it.
He can be there. That's fine. I'm fine with them bringing him back because he's great. But his story does not need to be fleshed out. That game was his fleshed out backstory. They already did it.
Yeah. So, do you see the ice forming already? Okay. Yes. This is the coldest night of the year, by the way. After I think after Shadow, is either before or after Shadow, there's the game Sonic Heroes. In Sonic Heroes, honestly, the interactions between the three main characters, the three heroes in this game, and they're literally called Team Sonic, which is what they're called in Sonic Heroes. Their interactions are pretty much identical to. They even use some of the same triple moves. There's the one where I think Tails is flying, and Sonic's in the middle, and Knuckles is in the bottom, and Sonic is launched like a ping pong ball and he goes back to the middle again. They did that once or twice. Like there's a whole bunch of callbacks in this movie to the games. Like I recognize music tracks from not only from Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, like remixes of the game music in this for like certain moments, but also like when only diehard fans are gonna remember this. When the Eclipse Cannon is rising out of the water, they're playing the Eggman theme from Sonic 06. Like, the game that everyone fucking hates, considered one of the worst games of all time. They remixed Eggman's theme, the da 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 da, like that was remixed from Sonic 06, and then using the movie. I'm like, all these deep cuts here, like they throw tons of stuff in for Sonic fans, tons of stuff. There's a Chow Garden.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Chow Garden.
Guys, if you haven't seen it, they made the Chow Garden like a popular tourist restaurant. It was hilarious in Tokyo.
And, yeah, why the fuck did like the guy meet them there? The gun guy. He just walks in and sits down. And he's like, "What are you even doing here, dude?"
I don't know.
I mean, Tails said we need a place to hide for now, and so they just hid in the Chow Garden. It's like no one's gonna take a look at us here.
With many children around.
Yeah.
That was a little bit like guys.
and then the general of Gun walks in and sits down and is like, "I'm here to have a meeting with you," and it's like, but why?
I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this movie, is that like it's still fine, still a fun kids movie to watch.
Yep.
There's more logical inconsistencies in the movie than there were in the first two.
Yes, there are certain leaps that happen where things do not make sense, or they just need something to happen, so they just do it. It's like, why is this happening?
Yes.
Like, it makes no sense for the gun general to walk into the fucking Chow
but
Garden.
also like, even if it doesn't make any sense, they don't really make it a comedic thing.
It just happens.
It just is a thing that has happened.
It's like, why?
And
did
now we're on
this?
to the next set of lines, and it's just like,
But why did you do that? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Like, it needs either to be explained or it needs to be made into comedy, and there's many instances where they did not do that.
Yes. I mean, another one that I thought of was, and you disagree with me on this, but I still think it's one of them. There's a moment where they're infiltrating the gun base, and like everything is solved.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay, no, listen, Okay.
And Knuckles just destroys the situation for no reason. I'm just like, this is dumb.
Okay.
Dude, the water in here is like frozen because it was out in the car the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, so I only half disagreed with you.
Yeah.
After the general dies in the Chow Garden, the senior military lady that we only see for like 2 minutes comes in and is like, "I can't find his key," which is a card. They should have said key card or something. They kept saying key.
It's a key card, yeah.
Yeah, also, I don't know if you noticed, but they didn't use 2 key cards at the end.
They only used 1 key card to activate the Eclipse Cannon.
1.
It's like, you needed 2, though.
Needed 2, only used 1. Anyway, we see her, and she's just like, "I knew they weren't to be trusted." And then that was it. And that's all that happened. And the next time we see her, like in a, I'm big scary gun military and you guys shouldn't trust me, is like after both Eggmans and Sonic are trying to steal the second key card, and she's like, "I knew you guys were gonna come. You fell right into my trap. I'm gonna arrest all of you because you were trying to steal it too, Sonic."
Yeah, but here's the thing. She's correct, though.
No, that's the issue, is the fact that she is, but the reason that now this is why I disagree with you, because the reason that Knuckles breaks it down is because Sonic is gonna get arrested.
Yeah, but like that directly leads to everything going wrong, though.
No, I agree. That's the point. That is the point of that scene.
If they simply just let them all get arrested, then there would be no problem with the world-destroying death laser.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, but they didn't want Sonic to get arrested. It's a kid's movie, and kid hero cannot be in jail. Sorry.
Sonic was literally in jail in Sonic Adventure 2.
Doesn't matter.
He got arrested by gun.
Doesn't matter. He's not allowed to be in jail because it's a kid's movie.
He got arrested?
I know.
Okay.
Listen, I understand. But that's what I'm saying, is that lots of things needed to be expanded upon more, because we needed more scenes of her, like, being very distrustful
Distrustful
Holy
of
shit,
Sonic.
I cannot talk today.
Yeah, because Sonic and Gun had worked together in the second movie, yes.
Yeah, like, they needed more scenes of that. They needed her to be, like, more, or they needed her to be, like, more racist or something.
Racist towards aliens, I guess?
Yeah.
She kind of was a little bit. She was like, aliens.
Only the tiniest little bit.
Maybe for a kids movie, you only need 1.
No, you needed more.
So,
even as a kid, I would have been just like, what? Okay, sure, she's evil, I guess.
So, I will actually do the plot in less than 2 minutes.
Okay,
This
go.
sounds actually really easy. Okay.
Go.
So, Shadow is being broken out of on Prison Island, which rather than being in the Bay of San Francisco, it's now in the Bay of Tokyo. But whatever.
Yeah.
Shadow's on Prison Island. They break him out. That was a level in Sonic Adventure 2. In fact, you play in fact as Eggman breaking him out. Gun brings in Team Sonic to go deal with it. Get their asses kicked. They regroup at the Chow Garden.
Yep.
The General of Gun shows up and is like, and then they get attacked by Eggman's crony. No. They attacked.
They get attacked by the Eggbots.
The Eggbots who are Eggman's robots, hacked and controlled by Eggman's grandfather.
But we don't know that.
Not yet.
Because the crony saves them from the Eggbots.
Yes. However, the Gun General's like, I died. You have the key to the Eclipse Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So he dies. Sonic gets one key. And then they go to meet...
They run away from the rest of Gun showing up there.
Yeah, because the Gun's like, oh my god, Sonic did this. And like, they play it up like they're going to do a let's frame Sonic for all the things that Shadow does.
Yeah.
And they go down that path like one step and then completely abandon it.
Yep.
And that's actually important because in Sonic Adventure 2, that's like the entire first half of the game is Sonic is framed for Shadow's actions. And it's a big plot point for the first half of the game before it's finally solved. And like they didn't do that. And it felt like they were going to, and they just abandoned it.
Or at least something similar, like being like, well, Shadow's evil, so obviously you can be evil too. You guys have like the exact same power, so we're gonna, we're gonna put you in prison just like we did to Shadow.
Well, in the game though, he was just Sonic was just framed, and he has to like break out and clear his name. Like it's a very common story, yeah. So this time around though, they go to see like Eggman, who survived the second movie, and he's just like being a fat slob.
God, it was so funny.
That was probably the best part of the movie. Is like
so good.
Is like Eggman is like watching fucking Mexican telenovelas, and he's just like eating takeout, and he's just like a fat, disgusting, fucking like hairy loser, and like his like egg crab cockpit is just like filled up with like takeout boxes. They team up, they work together. They end up going back to the old gun base, which at this point, in this movie, it's no longer a space station. It's a an underground in a mountain base, and also like when they flash back to like Maria's childhood, it feels like Fallout.
Yeah, a little.
It's like all the old technology is there, and like all the old fashion is there,
well,
and by the way,
from 50 years ago,
and they're all stuck underground permanently, so it's like a vault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, they actually did this part really well.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
That was good. Yeah.
And it was it was strange. It felt like we were watching Fallout for a bit. Just like, oh, okay.
Oh, that is actually one compliment to give to the movie, is that they did Shadow's like story really well. Like I wasn't displeased about them like leaving out. Like I don't know that much about Shadow lore or Sonic lore. I don't know fucking anything, okay? But to me, it felt like they didn't miss lots of the details that like I've been complaining about other parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it felt good and it felt cohesive and connected.
Yep. You understood why Shadow was doing what he was doing, and you like everything was there.
Yeah.
And then there's the confrontation where Robotnik switches sides to go help out his grandfather, and he's like, "Oh, my grandfather's here! Oh my god!"
My grandpappy.
So then they go off with Shadow.
Gary.
And I'm just like, listen, this is literally the same plot as the second movie, because Robotnik tricks Knuckles, Robotnik tricks Shadow. It's different
Robotniks.
Furry animal is being used to further Robotnik's goals. Same thing happens in this movie.
Yep.
So this time they go to London, because London is where the Eclipse Cannon is stored.
Because it's Gun's base.
Yeah, which completely not part of the original game, but whatever. It's in London now.
Whatever.
So there's a sequence where they're doing like I think even Sonic even says, "Can Tom Cruise do this?" Because they're doing like a Mission Impossible, must break into the vault.
Okay, no, listen. Dev left the theater to go to the washroom during a couple of trailers. There was a Mission Impossible trailer for a new Mission Impossible coming out, Final Mission Impossible, before this movie.
Yep.
I died laughing at that part just because of what happened.
Well, I was walking back in, and I said it was called The Final Mission, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was walking back into the theater, and it was just us still, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the whole fucking movie was just us.
Yeah.
So I walk in, and I see the final mission like fade away, and I just yell up to Naomi, "It's not gonna be the final one." It's so nice to have the theater to ourselves, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's so nice. But anyway, they do the heist to get the second key. Everything fucks up because Knuckles fucks it up.
No, they told Knuckles to fuck it up.
Yeah,
Don't blame Knuckles.
I get it, but it's still stupid. And then Robotnik gets the 2 keys.
Yep.
The 2 Robotniks get the 2 keys. They launch the Eclipse Cannon into orbit. And then that's when Grandfather Robotnik says,
"Oh, I am evil Gary."
I'm actually evil, and I intend to wipe out all life.
Including ourselves.
Including us. We're all going to die.
I did not expect that, to be honest. I didn't expect this.
It was so straightforward, too.
Yeah, like, I was just like, wait, they're also gonna die? I thought they were just gonna, like, go somewhere else and, like, try to build a robot Maria or something.
Oh, no,
That's
no.
what I thought was gonna happen.
In the game, I think Robotnik's grandfather is very clear. It's like he just wants to kill every single person. However, in the game, he's purely a tragic figure, and you only see him for like 5 seconds when he's being executed.
But so much.
There was so much of both Robotniks in this, and they were both comedic figures. And I'm like, this is a bit strange.
It was hilarious though, because they were both played by Jim Carrey, which I know we already said, but I love Jim Carrey.
Okay, there was one moment where I was like, that's too far, and it's the moment where they both looked into the camera, and it's like we're played by the same actor. And I was like, oh.
Listen, you have to do a fourth wall break, Dev. It's the 2000s again.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, but then like the end of the game plays out pretty much the same way the end of Sonic Adventure 2 played out, where Sonic and Shadow go Super Saiyan. They manage to stop the Eclipse Cannon, and then Shadow sacrifices himself. But also, okay, Robotnik sacrifices himself.
Yeah, that was kind of an unexpected twist I sort of saw coming.
Like, well, first of all, like, okay, the actual death of the grandfather Robotnik was just like ridiculous.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
He got launched into like the chaos energy stream and just like boop, he just popped.
Yeah.
I was like, that was surprisingly violent for this movie, dude.
No, yeah, like the only reason that it's still whatever fucking PG rating it is because there was no blood spray.
But he like
any
he just
other
went
movie
zoop.
would just have like him. Like, his just body just spinning with, like, and there would be, like, blood all over the person who, like, threw him in there.
Yeah.
Any other movie, but not this one.
he went in, and then, like, he just went... Boop.
Like a mosquito and a bug zapper.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that was, like, surprisingly violent for this movie, for a kid's movie, you know?
Yes. It was hilarious, though.
But then, like, basically, Robotnik had to, like steer the ship while Shadow pushed it, and then like it was gonna blow up, so they got it away from Earth in time before like everything was like radioactively nuked on Earth. So the two of them basically sacrificed themselves, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is just Jim Carrey saying that he's done with this, because Jim Carrey,
yeah, that was probably a lot. He's getting up there now, eh?
He is. He said after Sonic 2 he was retiring from acting completely.
Okay.
And in fact, I think he basically said, like, I'm only doing this because I have a lot of fun doing Robotnik. It's so much fun, but I think he might just be done.
Yeah, that's fair.
But here's the problem, though, because, remember, after the movie's done, there's that Amy Rose and Metal Sonics. Metal Sonic was made by Robotnik. So how are you going to do it without Jim Carrey?
I don't know.
They've already killed Robotnik.
I'm sure they'll figure out a way.
Yeah, I guess.
Robotnik from the future. He just won't come back.
Well, to be fair, actually, in Sonic CD there was time travel, and there was like a Robotnik ruled future.
Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, it was Sonic Underground. TV show.
Yeah, I know. That might be loosely adapted from Sonic CD, but those other two hedgehogs weren't in it. The girl hedgehog and the green hedgehog, they weren't in Sonic CD.
Because they were like the children of.
Of who?
I don't know. Of hedgehogs. I assume. Listen, I didn't watch the thing all the way through. I just caught episodes here and there where my siblings watched it, okay? I know the basic premise is that Robotnik rules the world.
Okay, yeah.
So, there we go. I know what you're talking about. I understand references.
Maybe. You play the Sonic games, Naomi.
No. They're all terrible.
That's right. You can't platform, and you can't do speed.
And I can't speed. Well, listen, I can play racing games. Does that count as speed?
Yeah, then just play it as a racing game.
Yeah, but I can't if I have to platform. You don't have to platform in racing games.
Listen, 2D in 3D Sonic, you just gotta hold forward and you win.
Yeah.
Anyway, good movie. Not as good as the first two. Still really enjoyable.
It's not as enjoyable for adults this time.
I disagree.
No?
Well, so a good kids movie will have a whole bunch of references that adults can enjoy as well, that aren't like overtly sexual or anything, but they're things that kids wouldn't get, but adults would be like, I get that, that's funny, you know. And like there was a moment where Robotnik was too fat to fit in his old costume, so he's like, okay, fix the costume, you know, Elvis circa 1977, and I was just like, so old people like us, we get that.
I'm not that old.
Kids would not get that.
Not a kid.
Kids would not get that. No, you're fucking not. Fuck you. No. No. You are not one of those fucking post-miners. Get out of here.
No, gross. That's not what I was going for. Ew.
God, there was like one chick who was like on TikTok. She's like, I'm literally a 26-year-old teenage baby girl. How come people want me to pay back my loans? I was like,
That bitch needs a sugar daddy. God.
Anyway. Like there was that. There was like a Tom Cruise reference. Like no, there was a bunch of jokes in this. When I'm like, these are clearly the jokes for the parents in the audience when they're bringing their kids to watch this movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
And
point.
they're actually really good.
Yes. I didn't say they were. I just said this was less enjoyable for adults this time because of the logical inconsistencies.
Maybe so.
Those annoy all adults. That's one of the reasons why they hate watching kids' movies, is because they're stupid.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. Because most kids' movies are thing happens, characters react to thing happens, characters react to thing, song and dance.
Song and dance.
The power of friendship.
Yeah.
Whatever thing was an issue is defeated. With no other explanation. That's why that's why adults hate kids' movies. But in the first two, there was more logical consistencies, like in lore of why the fuck things were happening in the movie. Now there was a lot, you know, but there was more. This one had less, and it was noticeably less.
Yeah, fair enough.
Honestly, the movie needed more time to cook with a couple more scenes here and there, and it would have been perfectly fine. Like, I'm not saying like an extra hour. Like maybe like an extra 15 to 30 minutes.
15, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, you need to follow the original lore exactly.
God.
It couldn't actually... No, they changed things, and that means it's bad.
Okay.
It means it's woke.
You heard it here.
Okay, actually, you know what's really funny is, like, they did several jokes with Eggman where he's clearly making fun of, like, internet woke stuff. He's like, I'm gonna cancel you. No, or there like when the grandfather Eggman was cutting off like the grandson Eggman, he was just like, he had him on his phone and he's just like, unsubscribed, unfollowed, blocked, reported.
Also, that's not who was blocking who, but okay.
Well, who was blocking who? Oh no, it was Eggman and like his assistant.
Stooge.
Yeah, his stooge. Yeah, his sycophant.
His sycophant.
Yeah, you're a sycophant, not a sycophant.
With all the sexual tension, all of it.
It's weird how much sexual tension, like, for all three of these movies, there's between those two.
I love it. It's great. I need more.
It's a kids movie.
That's
Naomi.
why it's there.
Naomi's the groomer. It turns
No,
out.
don't say that. It'll get clipped out of context.
You're gonna get canceled, Naomi.
He's a legend around here. Been driving moviegoers crazy since 2009.
Hey Naomi,
Here's
it's
Sally's
you.
soundtrack.
Texting your
She's
using
still
your phone
talks
during
throughout the
the.
entire
I've
movie.
literally never done that once
So
in a movie
annoying.
theater, you fucking liar.
I don't
And
believe
that's your
you.
new friend,
I've never
Stanley
done that
Stealer.
once. And you know
The
what?
name kinda
Wait,
If I
seat
had-
stealer. Now that one's me.
Sneaky Snapper.